In this video, I'll be going over the vital pieces of software that I use in my YouTube creation process. The first program I'm going to talk about is the photo editor that I use, the whole suite that does your collection of photos, sorting them, looking at them, and then editing them, at least doing touch-up work on them. In this case, I use AC/DC Photo Studio Ultimate 2018. Now, I did start with the previous version, but I had a bug, and then I talked to their support back and forth, and they eventually gave me a discount to upgrade. I decided to do that. So you see, it's not terribly expensive. It's not cheap, but I've gotten it quite a bit cheaper than what you see price-wise here if you wait for sales and things like that. Let's go to the first program. This is version 10, so this is the previous version. It'll look different if you just install the program, but I just wanted to shrink down the interface a little bit to make it more focused on the photos themselves. For example, these little tabs up here are bigger by default. So, main management area, and then photos, view, develop, and edit. So I'm going to switch over to the new version just to show off that one instead. See, it looks pretty much the same. So in the management area, you've got your photos you can click on, EXIF data. Very nice interface. You can double click and it'll go to the view. See, nice and quick interface. This view is what I've used in some of my review videos. Very great, very nice interface for just showing off pictures. And then you can go to the develop tab, which is what I use a lot to touch up, adjust contrast levels, do some more simple basic adjustments. As you can see, nice ton of features here. This interface really connected with me compared to a lot of the other ones that I tried. So pretty simple controls here to do adjustments, and the other main functions are up here. You've got detail along with the tune that we were just in. You can do defringing, and the skin tune I use quite a bit, and it's not bad, just a quick adjustment. So with people photos, you can easily use that skin tune. And then geometry, where you can adjust, you can add profiles to lenses and things like that. So in this case, this was shot at with a 50mm f1.8G lens, and it has that profile. And then repair is for touch-up work that does not adjust anything. This is all editing the raw file, so you're not making any special stuff. It's doing just the sidecar file and making that, or putting stuff into their internal database thingamajig. Can do heal and clone, pretty nice. Really quick adjustments. I wouldn't say it's the fastest thing ever, and my computer's not slow, but it works well enough. So you can see it's reloading. So right click and then left click just clears it out. Like I said, not the fastest function, so I've been shifting away a little bit to this and going back to Photoshop for that touch-up work. But it is in there and it's nice. I like it. And then they have a full edit suite, which is basically trying to be like a Photoshop functionality to it. You can do a lot of the similar things as you were doing with the raw file, but in this case it makes those raster images and the layers and everything. I haven't used this a lot, but this is where you would do the frequency separation and all those functionality type things. And it is paid. That means you basically have a perpetual license to this program. Of course, every year they'll come out with a new version, so you have to decide if you want to upgrade or not. A free alternative to this program is Raw Therapy. You can check that out. I've used it a bit before I found AC/DC. It's a very nice program. That's the one I would suggest checking out if you want something free. So this is their website here. Before I start recording clips or anything for a YouTube video, I write down outlines, I write down features and things that I want to talk about in a big list. There's a few different things that I use. Notepad++ for local documents. And then you've got Microsoft OneNote, which is an online document thing, and then Google Docs. So you just pick whichever one works for you. If you use one of the online ones, you can hook it up to your phone. Then you've got something on the go that you can write down notes. If you think of something, oh, I should talk about this feature or that feature. And then it's all synced up, of course, to your computer and anywhere you access one of those documents online. But local stuff, Notepad++, here's their website, and then the other ones. Great for taking notes, of course, which, like I said, is something I do before trying to start a new video. I make lists of videos I want to potentially make, or some relatively detailed outlines of each video before I get started filming things and doing voiceover and all that. For audio editor of choice, I use Audacity. It's free, open source. It takes a little while to get used to, of course. There's a lot to it, a lot of great functionality. What you want to do, or at least what I do with my voiceover work, I record it, and that's a big structured piece of my videos. Usually the first part I do voiceover plus clips of something, either the camera or whatever, and there's a lot of uhs, ands, ums, pauses, mistakes, so much audio stuff you have to fix up, and this is the program to do it in. Really nice. So you can zoom in, zoom out. I have things adjusted a little bit to my liking. I can make a video in the future if anyone's interested, just to show how I set things up. So for example, you can see the scrolling as I'm playing the audio. What I do is I just delete parts out. So if that's too big, I don't like it, or some sections wrong, I can delete. Something you definitely want to do is do noise reduction. You can see if I zoom in here, see that this pause area, there's still some stuff, some sound going on. You can take that and then go into the effect. Lots of different things you can do. I use normalize, I use the noise reduction, adjustable fade, truncate silence, a lot of good stuff in here. The compressor I use, at least in my podcast, not so much the YouTube videos most of the time. So let's do noise reduction. I have this clip selected, and you get the profile for that area that's basically white noise. So it saves that, and then you want to select everything and then run it, which I'm not going to do because this is a pretty big section, big chunk of audio. So you just go through the noise reduction, then you run it at that point once it has that profile in there, and it goes through the whole audio clip and attempts to remove that white noise. It's a really great audio program. This is the one I would suggest using if you want to improve your audio quality. Let's go to their website real quick. I have it up. So here's their website, audacityteam.org. Like I said, it's free, open source, great program. I'd suggest donating to them if you have some spare cash to help them out. My video editor of choice is Vegas Movie Studio Platinum Edition. In this case, version 14, which is the current version at this recording. I recently bought this one. I was using version 12 for a really long time. I also had bought version 9 way back when. Great video editor. Of course, it's not free, but it's relatively cheap. Let's go on their webpage real quick. So they were first owned by Sony, and I've used them for mostly through Sony, but the Magix company bought the rights to all of that Vegas Movie Studio stuff, and now they own it. Hopefully, I really hope they don't screw things up, because this is my favorite video editor of all time. And like I said, I just recently, a few days ago actually, bought the new version of this program. It seems fine so far. And this is the first version that the Magix company has had their hand in. Actually, let me go to product comparison real quick. So the regular version, I'd suggest getting the Platinum version, because it just has all of the important stuff. You have so many things. There's a lot to this program, even though it's somewhat limited. So let's go to version 12 first. Like I said, I used this one for a very long time. It works pretty nicely. It stutters a little bit now and then, but it does still work. All of my recent videos were done on this one, except for the D750 video, which I finished with the new version. So here's my half-finished project for the D750 review. See, I just have some clips still in here, but lots of content. And then let's go to the new version. So a little darker in color scheme. So this is the completed project for the D750 video. If we go in here, nice smooth action, quick program, especially for a consumer, a consumer program. It's very nice. Let's just scroll through here a little bit. So I've got my voiceover, which I mentioned with Audacity. I cleaned up a lot, and that's basically the framework for the video is that voiceover section. And then simply lots of clips of stuff. I record a lot of clips of things I know that I talked about. I don't often get exactly what I want, so I have to go back and do more stuff. But basically, this program is what puts everything together for a YouTube video. So you can see lots of stuff for this video. Single frames you pull in, you just adjust how long you want them to play. And then the last section where I talk in person. Like I said, I love this editor. I really hope it continues with this new company without hang-ups. I really hope they don't screw it up, basically. One last bit for a free video editing program. I have not, or at least I used it for a few minutes, maybe. I don't know, I might have installed it, I don't remember. But this DaVinci Resolve, I've heard good things about, and their basic version is free. So that's an option if you want something free to try out video editor-wise. So that's my suggestion for that. In addition to AC/DC for photo editing and relatively a large adjustment, but not on a fine-grained level, I use Photoshop still. I also use Photoshop for making logos, making still frames for my videos. You can see here some D750 still frames that I put together. I actually took these with my cell phone of the viewfinder, the D750 and the D600 on the other side here. Here I used the action camera, which didn't turn out too well, and it went to set up a whole rig to make a slightly better image. So that's why I went with those. Also the thumbnail you can add to YouTube. I make those separately. So just some text. I try to be relatively consistent with my newer videos. So I do make thumbnails now. And then just whatever picture I take. Pretty simple there. But Photoshop, I've yet to get away from it for graphic design level stuff. Moving forward, I don't know. There are some free alternatives, which I will discuss. Of course, GIMP is the super well-known one. I have used it in the past. Hasn't really connected with me from a GUI standpoint, but I might try it again in the future if my version of Photoshop eventually does not function, which hopefully that won't be for quite a while. But the GIMP is a nice program. If you can get used to it, definitely an option. And then Paint.net is another similar program. So you can see it does a lot of stuff like layers, and I don't know how detailed this one is yet, but it is an option and it's free. It's out there. So that is for graphic design stuff. I'll go on to the next section. So the final section I will be going over software-wise is screen capture. I really had a hard time finding nice screen capture software. In this case, I use OBS Studio, so Open Broadcaster's software. It's good for streaming online, video game streaming to Twitch or to YouTube or anything like that. But it's very nice for screen capture if you haven't tried it out. So let's pull up the program here, which I'm capturing myself, talking to myself, making the video. But pretty nice program. You can do a lot of adjustments. You can do scenes, which I haven't gotten too much into. Different sections of audio you can capture, different formats, video formats, all that. So here's their website. Pretty nice. They recently made a fully new version, which works well enough for me. I don't know if anyone's had quirks. And then you can see my face down here in the lower right section. That is called CamDesk. So it's a open source, the desktop webcam widget program. I've used this for quite a few years on and off, and I don't often capture my face, but maybe I'll do some more screen capture videos in the future, just going over software and editing, things like that I was thinking about doing more of. But this cam desk is a very nice, it says abandoned, it works well enough. I'm sure there are other options out there, but I haven't even bothered looking because this is just simple. You download it and you run it, and then your webcam just shows up. And that's what I've been using for the capture of my face and screen capture stuff. So that is pretty much it for all of the software that I use for YouTube videos. There might be a few little things here and there. So that's about it for this video. I hope you found it interesting. I'm Scott from Try Good Bonsai. Thanks.